Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the boot camp. Come on in. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see your beautiful faces. Welcome to the Breakthrough Client Results and Retention Boot Camp. Come into the chat, say hello, tell me where you're tuning in from in the world. And I'm going to get my presentation. All right. Emily Bishop is in Calgary in Canada. That's amazing. Amazing, amazing. Okay, so there's some more peeps who are coming in shortly, but let's dive right in because we have a lot to cover. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can see the slides a-okay? We good? Emily, are we good on the slides? Perfect. Okay. Hi, JD. If you're driving, that's cool. Just please be safe. That's all I ask. Okay. So the Breakthrough Client Results and Retention Bootcamp. This is a 1-week bootcamp where you are going to learn simple, powerful coaching tools that are going to give your clients breakthroughs 3 times faster so you can have constant testimonials where clients are like, damn, I need to be in that program, and your revenue is going to triple from client retention. So if you're just joining now, hello, so good to see you. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And most of you I'm meeting for the first time here face to face. So I'm so happy to see your gorgeous faces. And we're going to dive right in. But what I want to say is this is going to be a very interactive training. So if you are able, if it's safe and you're okay to do that, please go ahead and turn on your camera so I can see your lovely face. Take a second to just put your phone on mute, shut the door, whatever you need to do to be in the zone right now and be fully present with me for this hour. And it is going to be very interactive. So keep your little fingers on the keyboard to engage with me in the chat, okay? All right, let's hit it. So I want to get to know you a little bit. Can you drop your industry, your niche in the chat box? Who are you? What do you do? And then also your goal for client results and retention and revenue, obviously, revenue retention. Obviously, something had you sign up for this bootcamp, something had you say yes and make the time to be here. So what was that? I see some typing, so I'll hold off for a second. And if instead of typing, if you just prefer to come off mute and tell and say it, that's totally cool with me too. Okay. Emily says, empowering ambitious, high-achieving working moms to challenge the status quo and create success on their terms. Love it. More of that, please, in the world, right? More of that. And I believe Kim joined a few minutes ago, and I believe she's a business coach. That's amazing. And JD, you and I were chatting quite a bit in the DMs too. So I will just recall those conversations and keep them present and top of mind. So let us dive in. Let me know if any of this sounds familiar. If any of this that I'm about to say sounds familiar, this bootcamp is for you. So you are crushing it in sales in your business, right? I know there's coaches that are making anywhere from 10K months to 50K months to even 7 figures registered for this bootcamp. So it's like you are crushing it with sales. And if you don't necessarily feel that's the case, you are hungry to do that. You are hungry to get there. You are already working with empowered clients who aren't, the victim mindset complainer types. They're empowered clients. They're badasses. They're ambitious. You love them. They love you. You're incredible at what you do. You're the biggest go-getter in every room that you're in. You're obsessed with refining your skills. Whatever challenge you take on, you make it happen because that's just who you are. And yet at the same time, when it comes to your clients getting results and what's happening with your clients in your business, put a yes in the chat if, as I go through these, if any of these hit for you. You're like, oh, yeah. So maybe your clients are bringing the same problem to the call 3 weeks in a row, like on the hot seat call. They're bringing the same problem 3 weeks in a row. You've been coaching them through it. They still haven't had their breakthrough and it's driving you nuts. You're like, okay, they're so powerful. Why is this happening? Why aren't they crushing it? Like, I don't know what else to do. Or maybe coaching feels exhausting because you're basically doing the work for them. If you are trained in EFT or energy healing modalities, maybe you're used to just clearing your clients' blocks for them. You're stepping into doing their processes that clear the blocks, or you're used to giving answers where it's like, okay, here's what I would do, or I would try this, or have you tried that, or this is what I like to do. This is what works for my other clients. And it feels like your clients won't get it otherwise and progress, or they will get it, but it will just take like more time and energy to do that. Or maybe your heart races because one client takes up 20 to 30 minutes on a group hot seat call, and in the back of your mind, you're sweating a little bit. That was a weird thing to say. You're not sweating in your mind, but you know what I'm saying. And you're thinking, okay, wait, this is supposed to be a call for a 90-minute call for like 20 to 30 people. That's my vision for this group program. And so as a result, you have these like 1 to 2 star players who just come in, you've worked with them before, they come in and they just crush it every time. And then other clients are just getting okay results. They're getting okay results, and then they're giving vanilla testimonials as a result. Maybe most clients aren't re-signing. They're saying they're getting to the end of the container and they're saying, I got a lot out of it, but I'm complete. And then they move on to start working with somebody else. And so you're on the hunt looking for new clients. Or maybe you have a vision for your group program and you're wanting to scale that program, but you're holding back on that because you feel capped in your time and energy and ability to give them breakthroughs. And you know that you're meant for more. You are so incredibly proud of what you built so far. Your work and your programs, you know that that's not just your way to make a living. That's like your soul's purpose, right? And you want to have this work spread all across the world. You know you're meant to lead programs with 30, 50, 100, 200 people in them. You're meant to get clients 5 times breakthroughs, 5 times the breakthroughs, 5 times as fast, and have them knocking it out of the park. You're meant to make, pardon my French, a shit ton of money effortlessly from clients continuing to stay in your world for months and years. And you know you're going to do all that because that's who you are. You're a badass. But you're looking at these gaps and you're like, okay, I'm going to do that, but how? And it's okay. It's not your fault because you weren't taught about coaching in school. You weren't taught how to coach your clients for better results by your business coach. You weren't taught this, but that's exactly why you're here. And I'm going to teach it to you. So the goal of this boot camp, my intention for this is that I'm going to teach you really specific, potent coaching tools so you can have your clients, like how to actually coach your clients so that they arrive at their own breakthroughs. They can make their own decisions powerfully, and you don't have to do the work for them. I'm going to teach you how to coach for more potent breakthroughs so that your clients give you these mic drop testimonials and they're saying, you know what, I've had more breakthroughs with you than any other coach, and send me the link because I'm in for another 3 months. I'm going to teach you how to serve more clients, more breakthroughs in less time and effort so you have more bandwidth to scale your programs. Sound good? Put the word action in the chat if you're ready to dive on into this. Action, 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 baby. So how to be successful in this boot camp. I know you already know this, but how to be successful in the program, or excuse me, in the boot camp is for you to model the type of client that you love to work with and want to attract. Don't be the person who just watches the replay of this at 2x speed while you're doing your dishes. You're not going to get the most out of the boot camp. Be here, be in this with me, and also take the action. Get in, get out, learn it, go take the action and do it. Okay? So put the word action in the chat if you are going to take action. Action. Emily says action. All right, let's do it. And just quickly before we dive in, if this is the first time you're meeting and you're like, okay, who is this babe and why should I listen to her? Who is this babe and why should I listen to her? Hello, I'm Alyssa. I want you to know that I've dealt with every single one of the challenges that I am going to teach in this boot camp. Hey, Lindsay, good to have you. I've been through every one of these challenges that I'm going to train you on in this boot camp. I first learned how to coach in a 2.5 year leadership and coaching program that I joined a number of years ago for my own personal development, and then also to help me make a career switch into the field of environmental sustainability. I wasn't planning to start a coaching business at all. And I was in this program and I was chosen to be the team leader, meaning I was chosen to basically lead and coach the entire program of 120 people. So you can imagine being new to coaching and taking on this role that all of a sudden I real quick discovered that I had no idea what I was doing with coaching, and I ran into all of these same issues that we're talking about here today. So I refined the heck out of my skills, and we ended up having an 83% success rate, meaning 99 of those people met their goals for the quarter, and it was incredible. So I fell in love with coaching, but I had no plans to start a coaching business at all. I was on the track for working at some company, I don't know. And then when I finished the program, to my surprise, there were some people from the program who came to me and started asking me if they could pay me to coach them. I was like, huh, interesting. So that's how I got my first paid clients. And I then started dealing with so many coaching nightmares, everything from clients ghosting me to literally hanging up the phone on me to me hand holding to make sure and like completely overextending my boundaries, all that good stuff that you've probably been through, all of it, which led to these lackluster client results and just me searching for new clients to basically pay the bills. And I was super frustrated, but I knew, you know what, I'm going to make a real impact in this and I'm going to get paid well for this. So I became obsessed with learning different conversational coaching tools and exercises to bolster my coaching toolkit to become a better coach. And after practicing and refining these tools over and over and over and over again, to the point where I could basically meet any client where they were at and consistently and reliably and effectively cause them to get results. And as a result, fast forward to today, it's been 6 years. I've spent probably more than 2,500 hours coaching at this point. I've served over 250 people. Every one-on-one client I've ever had, except for one, has re-signed. Clients re-signed 3, 4, 5 times. I am a coach in my 8-figure mentor, James Wedmore's Business by Design program, where we're serving entrepreneurs all over the world. There's me and James. He's so cute. I love him. And then I also, using these same coaching and leadership tools, I still have another business in environmental sustainability. And I was hired last year as a consultant for Fortune 500 companies, where I built a coaching and leadership program to help these senior executives in these companies to grow as leaders so they can drive more sustainable change in their businesses and in their industries. So using those same tools, it was incredible, astounding how I was able to do that. So this is me in the leadership program doing my thing. This is me with some of the Fortune 500 peeps, and me with James Wedmore. That's a little piece of my journey. All right, this boot camp is going to be fun. We're going to do 2 giveaways. There's 2 fantastic special giveaways to make this a little more fun and a little more pizzazzy. So the first giveaway is going to be a bonus training. If you tag me on Instagram stories or send me a DM anytime throughout this boot camp over the next week, I will give you, like, you have, what am I trying to say? You have automatic access to a bonus training, which is basically how to infuse coaching tools into your sales conversations so that you have more conversions, a higher conversion rate, and you also have more authentic, connected sales conversations that have dream clients see you as the one for them. So using this framework, I've had anywhere from 60 to 70% conversions in my sales conversations. So you will get this training. And then the grand prize giveaway is a $500 credit towards my signature group coaching skills program, Coaching Craft Academy. That is where you will learn coaching and leadership tools to bust through your own blocks and clients' blocks so that you can 3x your business and revenue as a badass leader and turn one-time clients into ride or dies with mic drop results. So the first giveaway, if you tag me at least once or DM me at least once at any time in the boot camp, you will get the bonus training. And then if the more you tag me or in stories or DMs, each time you do that, you're going to be, it counts as an entry for the grand prize of the $500 credit towards CCA. So I'll keep track of that and then I'll pick the winner at the end. All right, let's get into it. This is the meat and potatoes. This is the sauce. This is the juice. So if you are not on the edge of your seat, come join me on the edge of your seat. Okay, so what I know to be true is that nothing will sell your service better than your service selling itself. Meaning having constant testimonials where dream clients are like, damn, I need that program. Where dream clients are telling their friends about you, and then you have referrals coming in. Nothing is going to have your current clients stay like I have more breakthroughs with you than any other coach. I know this to be true because I've seen it time and time again for myself and with my clients. On a macro level, the reason why you have clients bringing the same problems to the calls week after week, why you feel like you have to do the work for them, why it takes a quote unquote a long time to coach certain clients to their breakthroughs, and why this is having an impact on your client retention, your sales, and your scaling your programs is because you know how to market and sell and sign on empowered clients. You can do that in your sleep. You know how to teach concepts from your zone of genius better than anyone, right? No one does it like you. You know how to create potent results-driven curriculums for results. And you know how to mentor from your experience. You've been through the trenches and you have these gold nuggets of wisdom that you can offer your clients. And all of that's incredible and valuable, but you never learned how to coach for breakthrough results. So there's 3 key mistakes that I want to talk about today in terms of in terms of your coaching and that leading to client results. The first one is changing your messaging to attract a higher level client. I'm not gonna lie, messaging fixes a lot of problems, right? If you have the skill of messaging, you can solve a lot of problems for sure. But the thing is, messaging helps you attract and sign on empowered clients. It helps you market, but it doesn't do anything for your ability to actually get results for your clients and to have them stay longer term. Your clients' results dictate them wanting to stay. When your client has mindset hiccups and you go and you're like, oh, there's something in my, when they have mindset hiccups or when they're not taking as bold of, like they're taking action, but they're not taking as bold of action as you know they could, you're running to fix your messaging. You're like, oh, there's something in my messaging. Oh, I'm going to fix my messaging so I can call in an even higher level person. Or maybe you go write a post to activate your clients to bring better questions to the container. This is a Band-Aid. You're using marketing to solve a coaching problem. And you're going to continue, if you continue this, you're going to continue to attract higher level clients who are still humans, who have blind spots. They have triggers, they have unhealthy patterns. It's not solving the mindset stuff that's actually getting in the way of them reaching their next level. So they're going to continue to bring the same problems 3 weeks in a row, or it's going to be like the whack-a-mole situation where you solve that problem and then the same mindset hiccup comes up in another situation a couple weeks later. They're getting so-so results. So what you need to do, the solution to this, is to refine your coaching skills so you can meet each client where they're at, so you can melt the mindset blocks and shift their internal state, which is what has them take the action and crush it with their results. So say it with me: coaching refinement equals client results equals ride or dies equals client retention equals revenue. Put the letters RRR in the chat if this is landing for you. RRR. Kind of sounds like a seal. Never realized that. It's awkward saying that out loud. Note to self. Okay. So mistake number 2 that I see is over teaching and over delivering from a place of scarcity. So it's pretty simple. You guys know that information does not equal implementation, and that implementation actually gets clients' results, right? But the thing is, if you are doing things like you're like, oh, okay, I want them to take more action. I'm going to keep refining my curriculums. I'm going to maybe if I create these custom resources for these clients, or maybe if I add more trainings, or I really want them to get this breakthrough. So it's okay if I go 30 minutes long on client calls, or it's okay if, if you're doing all of these things and you're overextending yourself to make sure they get it, not only is that going to exhaust you, but it's going to keep them stuck. Why? Because they know enough. They don't need more information. What you actually need to do is get better at coaching them on the implementation, meaning get better at coaching to transform their beliefs and their behavior. We're going to talk more about this and what this looks like in reality, but put beliefs and behavior in the chat box if this is landing for you. One thing about me, I love me some alliteration. So that's going to come up all the time. Alliteration. Okay. So mistake number 3 that I see is over mentoring. What I mean by over mentoring is when you lead your coaching conversations with mentorship. We'll talk about what this looks like in a second. But there's this mindset of when clients are past the information stage, they're like, oh, they're past the information stage. They're past the how to do X stage. So they need more mentorship versus coaching. There's this notion that coaching is how to do X and then mentorship is like this higher level. That's not the case at all. It's not the case at all. I love the fact that you have gold nuggets of wisdom to just drop. That stuff is truly priceless. Like you've been in your client's shoes, you can recognize, okay, they're not trusting themselves. You can recognize, oh, they need to build the muscle of being all in. That's totally valid. But when your client is bringing the same problems 3 weeks in a row, and she's like, okay, I know we've talked about this, and I know we talked about this, and I know I just like when I tune into what I need to do, I feel like I know the answer, but I just kind of get stuck. Like, I'm sorry. If your first response is something like, it's okay, can you just put your blinders on? And this is about you building the muscle of trusting yourself. Totally valid, right? But you're coaching in a way that skims over the root problem. Saying trust yourself, even though that's what they need, that doesn't equal more trust. They're like, okay, trust myself. When you know, right? And even though that's true, that doesn't necessarily lead to them, like, it doesn't expedite the process of them trusting themselves necessarily because it's not tangible. And so that's why the issue persists week to week. Or maybe you even ask your mentor, you're like, okay, this client is having this problem weeks on end. Like, how would you handle this? If you're running to your mentor to ask about this, that's also a band-aid because that mentor is not going to be there when another client has the same issue. This is why clients sometimes sound like a broken record. When they bring a problem to the call, have you ever experienced this? Put a yes in the chat if you've experienced this. You're on a call and the client brings a problem and you coach them through it. And then they're like, yeah, okay, but yeah, I really just kind of get stuck on this sometimes. And they keep dragging the problem out. It's because you're not hitting on the root issue. Or if your client's asking for permission and they're like, okay, here's what I'm thinking. I could do this launch strategy or this launch strategy, or I could do this price versus this price. Like, do you think X or Y are better? If you respond, here's what I do, or you know what, I find that this launch strategy works really well, or given your niche, I think this launch strategy would be awesome for you. Even though you have the expertise strategically, when you do this, when you just jump right to the answer, mentorship, you answer, you're creating clients who are actually codependent, who don't trust themselves, who think to look outside themselves to you, which means they're going to have more mindset hiccups and then they're going to take more start and stop action. If your client asks you for feedback, if they're like, okay, I created the messaging for this offer, here's my messaging, how does that sound? And you basically like, yeah, sounds great. It's like a stamp of approval. Or maybe they've been in the hot seat for, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes. And in the back of your mind, you're like, okay, we really need to move this along. So you basically just give them the answer and you're like, I would do this, this, and this. And you basically just rewrite it for them. When you do this, you rob them of the critical thinking that would allow them to get better at messaging. So they're going to continue to need you and you feel like you have to do the work for them. Otherwise, they won't get it. Or if your client is overthinking or procrastinating or doing some kind of behavior that's getting in the way of them taking action, and you're really trained in EFT or subconscious reprogramming or something, and you're like, oh, let's get on a session, let's clear the block. And you do your thing and it's amazing and it's magical and you clear the block for them. They're going to get accustomed to doing that versus being able to work through it themselves. So the solution to all of these, like the 1% refinements, instead of leading with mentorship, is to be able to ask the right questions so your clients have more self-awareness, so they arrive at their own answers. They can have the needle moving breakthrough in minutes. They refine their action. And in doing all of this, they're building trust. And that's how they're going to lead themselves more powerfully. It's like if you see your client isn't being all in, instead of just saying be all in and work on that muscle, it's like actually causing a breakthrough around why they're not all in, what's keeping them from being all in, and then causing the breakthrough and giving them the plan on how they're going to be all in. It's diagnosing the root problem quickly and then being able to whip out a tool that's like, oh, zap the problem right then and there. So put powerful questions in the chat if you're picking up what I'm putting down. And I'm going to get into an example of this in an exercise in just a couple minutes here. Okay, so this is breakthrough coaching. When you know how to do this, when you know how to make these refinements, that is when all of your clients have incredible breakthroughs. And I'm not saying that they're not having incredible breakthroughs already, but I mean like to the nth degree. Like they're getting into 5 times the self-belief, 5 times as fast. They're taking 5 times the bold, courageous action, and they're leading themselves powerfully. They're crushing it with their results. They're sending you the what you call it, the Voxer messages that like give you goosebumps, like, holy crap, I did it. That's when they re-sign over and over. That's when your work sells itself through testimonials. That is when coaching gets to feel even lighter and more like life-giving and energizing for you. And the time and mental bandwidth you save by being more efficient at coaching, you get to take that and go grow and scale your programs, and your revenue triples from client retention. Pretty freaking hot, if you ask me. Pretty hot. So we're going to do an exercise in just a second to demonstrate this in action. But I want to pause here if there are any questions on what I've gone over. Any questions so far? And just a heads up, we're going to do a demo here in a few minutes. So one lucky brave soul is going to do this with me. Okay. So I'm about to share with you this exercise that, I kid you not, I've probably done 1,000 times in my life. I do it many times a week, sometimes every single day. It's truly transformed my identity as a CEO, how I show up in my business, my revenue in my business, my relationships with clients, and my ability to lead clients. It's transformed my relationship with my partner and our ability to communicate with each other and be a team. It's transformed it's transformed. I could go on and on, but this is such a special exercise and I'm so excited to share it with you. Okay. It's called the completion and creation exercise, which is a simple, repeatable process that's going to help you get to the root problem, get to your client's root problem, lead your clients to their own answers and decisions, and deliver more potent breakthroughs with less time and energy. It applies to, it applies to any niche, and you can use it for literally anything, but these are some of the main things that are relevant for you. You can use it for turning breakdowns to breakthroughs. If your client has repeat problems, if they failed at something, they have a failed lunch, if there's a pattern interrupt that you need, meaning there is momentum, but you're like, okay, let's create a breakthrough here for them so that they can reach their goal. You can use this for better performance, meaning better strategic refinements of the actions that they need to take to get better results. You can use this for emotional triggers and mindset hiccups. You can use this to help them get clarity on their direction and action. And you can use this to help them look at gaps in skill building. For example, if they're working on content or they're working on a, I don't know, your clients are past this probably, but it's the first example that comes to mind. If they're wanting to get more consistent at content, you can use this to kind of analyze where they're getting stuck and what they can do to become more consistent. It's pretty freaking cool, and I'm so excited to share it with you. And just as a little like anecdote of, pardon my French, this shit works. One of my clients in CCA in the founding cohort a couple of months ago, she's a dating coach, and she was working with this client who she now knows is like not a desirable client or like empowered client to work with, but it was a huge moment for her in terms of her power and effectiveness as a coach, where she had this client who had not been on a date in 2 years, and they'd been working together one-on-one for 6 months, and she was resisting dating, which is very difficult if you want to be in a relationship, right? And she had tried everything she knew to be able to cause a breakthrough for this client to get her to take action. And when she did this exercise, she went back to the client. They got on a call for their weekly coaching call. She finally got through to her client. The client took responsibility, changed her whole perspective, and then she went on 3 dates in 2 weeks. And then at the end of CCA, this client of mine had a 100% one-on-one client retention rate. And it was 2 clients, so which is like, context, but I still think that's freaking amazing because she was newer at coaching, and being able to cause these kinds of needle moving breakthroughs for your clients is huge. And it just shows like it's a direct correlation to having more client retention. Okay, here we are. So I'm going to just walk you through the steps of the exercise, and I'm going to share kind of what's the word? Not the mindset, I don't know, strategy behind why this step in this process. And then I'm going to do a live demo. If one of you is brave enough to do it, it's going to be awesome. It's like, who wants a breakthrough? Raise your hand. We're going to go through it live, and I'm going to show you how it works. And then, yeah, we'll get to right to the action step. Okay. So the completion and creation exercise, why it's called completion and creation, is when I think about any goal or any pursuit or anything that your client wants to do, be, or create, we're on this journey to reach the goal. We're on this journey to become this version of ourselves. And along the way, we kind of get off track, right? We have things not go as planned. We have emotional reactions. We are just humans humaning, right? We get off track and we have these things come up. And I like to call those incompletions, because what happens is it's kind of like when you have a backpack on, and each one of these little hiccups or challenges becomes like a rock in the backpack, and it's kind of weighing you down and weighing you down. And it's a lot more difficult to make progress and get what you want, or at least get it in a way that actually is exciting and feels good, as opposed to being miserable, when you're walking around with these quote unquote incompletions. And so this exercise is a way for, it's like a simple process where you can get to the root. It's like clearing the slate, what's the phrase? Wiping the slate clean, clearing the energy, and just getting back to ground zero so that you can create newly from nothing. And so we're going to go through the process of completing all of the kind of lingering underlying stuff, and then creating what's next. And it's so simple, and it's so powerful, and so beautiful. So the first thing that you want to do when you go through this exercise is get the facts. So you can do this for situations that are happening, like current situations that you're still in, or you can do it for things that have ended. So for example, if you're a dating coach and your client just ended a relationship, or if you are a business coach, your client just had a launch or just had a container end, like things that are happening or things that have ended. So the first thing you want to do is get the facts. What happened or is happening? And then you want to get the story. So what are you making that mean about you, the situation, and what's possible? Why do you want to touch on the meaning and focus on that? Because when we're operating on autopilot a lot of the time. And when we're operating on autopilot, we don't realize the lingering kind of baggage that starts to build up underneath the surface. And we get stuck in the emotion of it without even realizing we're stuck in it versus thinking clearly and objectively. And so when you have them look at the meaning, like what are the facts versus what are you making it mean about you? You give them the opportunity to step outside the situation, step outside of themselves and look in and realize what other kind of mindset garbage they're adding to the situation. Then you're going to get to the source of the results and extract the lessons. So why? Well, if we're not getting what we want and we want to get what we want, we can't decide what to do or what to refine if we don't know why we're getting the results that we're getting. So we want to get to the source of that. To do that, you're going to look at what worked and what didn't and why. And then this part is key. What was the tangible impact of what happened, what worked and what didn't on you or your results? Why the impact? When I say impact, I mean cause and effect. There's the cause and there's an effect. Why? Because clients get bought into behavior change, showing up differently when they can connect the dots between how they're showing up today or how they've been showing up and the ripple effect that that's going to have on the future. I'll show you exactly what this means, but it's very key and very important. If you skip this step, the issue is going to persist 9 times out of 10. Then you're going to restore the personal power. So it's like, where can you take 100% responsibility? Where can you accept? What can you accept and what can you let go of? So it's acknowledging, okay, here's all the shit that happened. Here's how this has been affecting me. Here's how it's going to affect me. Here's what I need to do differently. And I can now choose to let this stuff go. And then you're going to identify the refined action. What can you do differently? What new structure can you put in place to close the gap? So we've completed. I forgot to put a little diagram thingy here, but we're completing here. And now we're creating. So what's the refined action that you can take? Why refined action? Well, this is the practical piece. This is not the manifest and energy and all of this stuff. It's like, okay, where does the rubber meet the road here? So we can double down on what's working and then also close the gaps. And then we're going to wipe the slate clean. So it's like a declaration. Can you declare this whole thing complete? Can you declare what happened, what didn't happen, what you did, what you didn't do? Can we just close the book on this and have this be complete? Why? Because people will take more action when you are reorienting them, when there's a decision. This is like an energetic decision, right? When you reorient them, they make a decision to close the past, to stop obsessing over the present and focus on the new future. And then the last piece, you're grounding it in action because we know action equals results. Any questions so far? Nope, thumbs up. Amazing. Okay. Don't get scared with this slide. I know it's a lot of text, but I just want you to see this together. So you'll notice as I go through this exercise, one thing that's really, really powerful that I like to do is what I call lenses. What I mean by lenses, I really need a bigger screen because I have so many windows and I want to see all of your faces. Okay. What I mean by lenses is that so there's many factors that go into people's results, and I kind of mentally categorize these in different lenses, meaning when you do a launch of a program, there's all these things that go into the launch results. There's the action, the practical structures, but there's also your energy, there's your mindset, there's your knowledge and skills. And when you can get super granular on the kind of different aspects of the situation it allows you to extract even more lessons and gold nuggets to help you moving forward. So you'll see that when I go through, what am I looking at? Yeah, when I go through this step, what worked and what didn't, what was the impact, I will kind of look at it from a couple of different angles. So for example, if you were and the angles that I look at are whatever is relevant to what you're coaching on. So if I was a business coach, I would probably look at all of these or most of them. If I was a dating coach and my client was going through a breakup, I might look at something like communication, intimacy, action. Or if I was a health coach, I might look at mindset. I might look at strategy, like your nutrition, your, I don't know, weightlifting program. So when you can get super granular like this, it's not to say that it needs to take longer, but it's just looking at it from different sides and different perspectives. Okay. And by no means do you need to do all of this. I just put these examples here for you to see what's possible and how you can look at this. All right. I think that is it. Yeah. Demo time. It's demo time. So we're going to do a demo of this live. Whoever wants a breakthrough, I'm going to coach you right now on a breakthrough. So we're going to do the completion and creation exercise. It's going to just be a few minutes. It doesn't have to be the big whole thing. We can do this in a very intentional manner. But why am I having you do this first if this is for your clients? Well, because next training, we're going to give you the opportunity and at-bats to practice this exercise with me and with each other. So I can do more examples of coaching you guys. You guys can have some at-bats of coaching each other, and I will be there with you. We can kind of workshop it together. But we're setting it up this way because you go first. You go first. And the first part of being a coach who gives breakthrough results to your clients is by you being able to coach yourself, right? And the thing is, dream clients hire you because you're genius. Yeah. But they also hire you because they want someone to model. And so you're absolutely going to use this tool to get your clients 3 times the breakthroughs, 3 times as fast. But you being embodied in this first is going to have you be a better leader for your people, hold higher standards for yourself, and just coach yourself in a really powerful way. And people can feel that. That is when you are even more magnetic, and your clients are like, I want to be led by her. And you're going to be leading more potent containers. It's all interconnected. So let's dive into it. As I said, I literally use this for everything. So I can kind of help you think of an example if you'd like. But yeah, let's jump into it. Put I go first in the chat if you're like, yeah, I go first, baby. I get it. I go first. I go first, Lindsay says. Cool. Okay. So who would like to go through this? Who would like to have a breakthrough is the real question. Who would like to go through this and demo? Lindsay says, I can do it. Hell yeah. Okay. How do I want to do this? Yeah. Okay. So Lindsay, you can come off mute. And Laura says, I go first. Love it. Come off mute. Hi, Lindsay.
Hi, Alyssa. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Okay. So for Lindsay and then everyone else on the call, I want you to take a couple, and the reason why I'm having everyone do this is because that's going to be your action step. So I'm helping you start your action step now. So I want everyone to take 30 seconds to a minute to think of an example of something that you want to get complete. So this could be a recent loss or failure related to a goal. It could be a skill that you're working to improve. It could be something that recently ended, like maybe you just did a launch, or maybe you, I don't know, had a relationship end or a client relationship end, or something that you find yourself kind of triggered and bugged about. So take 30 seconds or so and come up with an example or two that you'd like to use. All right, and put ready in the chat when you have your example. And if anyone has questions or you're confused at any point during this, you can pop it in the chat, okay? Okay, Lindsay, what's your example?
My example is that I am in the middle of launching my new group program, and I feel like I'm putting a lot of pressure on like how many people I have to get in and all of that stuff. Like I know that it's amazing. Like I know that the content itself is amazing and stuff because it's things that I have used with one-on-one clients, and I'm bringing it to a group setting and I know the results that it can provide, but I feel like I'm like setting these goals and then not quite achieving exactly what I want from them.
Okay, so there's pressure. So I'm hearing there's a little element of like what's happened in the past potentially with other things that's causing there to be pressure around this launch.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay, great. So let's go through it. So what are the facts of the situation? What are the facts of your launch right now? It's
That
okay.
it
It's not
is
fully accurate if you don't know all the stats on top of your mind, but if it's like
uh
I'm in the launch, there's X number of days left, here's the results that we have so far. And here's my
okay.
goal.
So I have like 3 weeks left. My
Mhm.
goal was to get or is to get at least like 5 to 10 people in it. So
Mhm.
far I have one person in it,
Okay.
and I have like multiple people interested in it, and am like having trouble getting over that hump to like have them actually commit.
Okay, cool. So what are you making that mean about you?
Uh, I feel like it makes me feel like I am only focused on actual like sales outcomes rather than individuals' transformations. But like the entire reason that I started this business is because I care about other people feeling equally as like fulfilled and jazzed about what they do as I do now. And I don't like having to feel the like sales pressure or like focusing on the numbers as much as focusing on the people.
Yeah. So when I say, I totally get that. And when I say, what are you making that mean? What I mean is there's, how does the pressure kind of live in your mind? Okay, if I'm quote unquote having trouble, then that means what about what's possible in the launch? That means I'm not going to hit my goal. That means I am this person. That means like, what's going on in the brain? What are you making that mean about you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I can't trust myself to follow through,
Yep.
and that I can't ultimately achieve my goal. And so it's like, well, why am I even doing this?
Yeah. Awesome. And then I don't mean that's awesome. I mean,
No, I know.
good job. Okay. Um, and then is there any meaning that you're making about your potential clients? Like
That
they don't
maybe if,
get it, da da da.
yeah, like if people have not bought already, then maybe it's just not valuable.
Yeah. Is there any other meaning that's coming up for you?
That like what I have to offer is not valuable as well.
Hmm. Anything else?
Probably like the deepest root is that like I am not valuable or worthy.
Yeah. And you're doing great, by the way. I know it takes some guts to do this in front of everyone else. So can we just a little applause for Lindsay for being the one to jump in here. Okay. So can you get the separation between the actual facts and then all this other stuff that's being added on top of it? Yeah.
Mhm.
So what is now when you look at the way that you're operating with all of that going on, what's working and what's not working?
In terms of like my daily actions or like what I'm telling myself on a daily basis.
Well, let's look at the lenses. So it could be, let's start with daily actions. How is this, do you think, how is this affecting the way that you're taking action or the effectiveness of your action?
Um, I definitely noticed that I am starting to get like more distracted by like, oh, well, maybe I should be trying this, or maybe I should be trying that, maybe I should be trying that, rather than like continuing the actions that I know have yielded results in the past, because the like outcome hasn't happened immediately, even though there's like still 3 weeks left. Um, so that, and then that ultimately turns into me like delaying the amount of time that it's taking me to post every day. So like I was in a pretty good groove of like getting it out before midday, and now it's like not even starting till midday. I'm still getting like multiple posts out, which is great, but it's like a whole like mental battle that goes in before the actual posts get out.
Don't I know that world? Don't
Yeah.
I know that? Uh-huh. Yeah. Put a me in the chat if you can relate. Okay. And then how about your energy? How is this
Um,
working or
it's
not working?
exhausting because I'm probably sleeping like 3 to 4 hours a night right now, because the rest of the time I just like stay awake thinking about like, okay, I could try this, I could try that, like all the stuff that I continue to brainstorm during the day.
Yeah. Sounds super fun.
It's awesome. I highly recommend it.
Okay. Um, and is there anything else that you see is just for the sake of time, we can,
Mhm.
is there anything else that you see that's like really top of mind here?
Um, I think it like probably just comes back to, because I'm focusing so much on like it has to happen right now, that because it's not happening right now, then I'm just going through like this daily cycle of like lowering my own self-esteem and self-worth as a result.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And is there anything that you point to that is working? Like what is working? Or if not working today, right now, what was working before?
I'm pretty impressed with the fact that like all the stuff that I am teaching, I'm like consistently doing on a daily basis. Whereas like I definitely remember a year ago, like how freaking hard it was to even just like have transitioned out of a job and like pursue my new role and all of that stuff. So it is pretty cool to see like how I can do a lot of things in one day now that probably would have taken me like weeks to complete.
Yeah, absolutely. That's huge. So can you acknowledge yourself for that? Can you give a little pat on the back for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So where can you take responsibility for what's going on and what can you accept and actually let go of? And I don't mean pretend let go, like I'm going to think about this in 20 minutes. I mean, actually, like drop it, let it go.
I can definitely take responsibility for like the shiny object syndrome of thinking like I need to try all of these different things instead of just like blinders on, focusing on um, the actual tasks that have had been working for me, and like not just assuming that they're not because it didn't yield immediate results.
Yeah.
And I can let go of mm, I guess like continuing to like look for other solutions and just like going back to the basics and what was like really working and building the momentum, even just like last month and the month before.
Yeah. Anything else?
I want to say I'm going to let go of my attachment to the result, but I feel like I'm not yet there.
Mhm. So what do you think would have you let go of that attachment? Like what do you get? What's the payoff that you get of holding on to that attachment?
Nothing really.
Well, there is.
I mean, like it
I
keeps
know
me
you know
accountable to
there's.
that goal. Um,
Does it though? So when I say payoff, I mean like secondary gain. Something that I've gone through recently is seeing where, so I'm a projector in human design and recognition is my thing, right? And
mhm.
I've seen where I have looked, where I have had been addicted to the struggle in certain ways in business as a way to get attention because that's the payoff that I would get. So, I mean, the really sneaky thing from your ego that
Okay, yeah, it's probably that. Like exactly that. Just like
really,
making things harder because I just, yeah, it's not that I like love to be like, oh, this is hard, but I definitely like acknowledge it a lot rather than like focusing on the where is this easy? Because there definitely are areas that are like way easier than they used to be.
yeah. So it's like there's a sneaky little part of you that is likes the attention or feels
Hmm.
like this is the how I'm going to get attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge. Can you recognize that?
Yeah,
See?
no, I can.
Yeah, that's huge. So, how else can you focus on getting attention in a way that's actually authentic and empowering to you in this launch?
Probably just focusing on like how good doing the things that were easy and were building momentum actually feel when I'm doing them because that makes the process really fun rather than like doing those and then be like, cool, how can I make it even harder? Like, what else can I add to my plate right now?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, that sounds better. I like that. I love that for
Yeah.
you. Is there anything else? Any other like empowered action that you see you can take?
I think probably just like going back to my personal rule of thumb of like not trying to do more than like three specific money making activities a day because then I spread myself too thin and don't complete most of them.
Yeah. And what about service? Is there something in that realm? Kind of have a sense of like we're talking a lot about the doing. What
Hmm.
about how can you actually connect to your people and why you love this work?
I actually did a really fun thing today right before this, which is why I was late. And I was talking to my client, Laura, who's here, and we did an Instagram live about her journey. And I know that just like reflecting on that from my perspective of like where she was 6 months ago to today was like, I almost cried during it because it's just like so powerful how much this can like actually change people's lives.
Yeah. So what's the action you think now moving forward?
Um, Reflecting on more of like the transformations that have happened and even like reaching back out to past clients for either like newer updated testimonials or Instagram lives or things like that to keep bringing it top of mind.
Yeah, I can see your face light up right now. Can you guys put a yes in chat if you can see the distinction in Lindsay's like her whole aura, her whole energy right now? Yeah. So can you declare like I get what's happened, what hasn't happened, what you've done, what you haven't done, what you're thinking? Can we declare that complete? Is there anything that's preventing you right now from just going, okay, I'm gonna say that's complete?
I don't think so because now like my stomach has released that like clenching feeling.
Yeah, cool. So you can go for it and say, I like to actually have it be like a, okay, it's complete.
Yeah, definitely.
So you can, what I mean by that is,
Oh, actually say it.
yeah, like I'm
Okay, it's
declaring this
complete.
complete.
Yes, that action is complete.
Cool. So there's a lot of actions that we talked about, and you can watch the replay for this and jot down your notes so you remember them. But what's the very next action you're going to take after this call?
Probably send an email to my email list because is something that has been like fun and easy for me lately.
Great. Awesome. Okay, cool. Yay, we're done.
Thank you.
Let's give a round of applause for Lindsay. Woo! Okay, one more question for you, Lindsay, and we're going to wrap this up. And here, I recognize we're at the top of the hour. We're going to wrap this up in just a couple minutes. But how was that going, like reflecting on where you were before to where you are now? What shifted for you, and what are you discovering about this process?
I it's like ironic that I literally just did that with somebody else, but have difficulty doing it with myself and like remembering where I was and where I am now and like why I'm even launching this program. Like, because I had these great results and wanted to impact more people, like that makes sense. So, uh, yeah, it's just like a good reminder of literally why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. And do you have more of a sense of like grounded action and what's available to you now in terms of the actual action and you looking forward now and you're like, okay, 3 weeks left. This is going to go different.
Um, yeah, because I think now I know that I was like, I'm making this really hard. And it's like concrete actions that make it fun that I can go back to.
For sure. Cool. Is there everyone else who's here, go ahead and put just in the chat if you want to put a couple words, like what is your main takeaway from watching Lindsay go through this? I'm going to move on to our last couple of slides here. Oops. Did I have that? No, I guess I didn't have a slide for that. That's okay. So the reason why this is breakthrough coaching for breakthrough client results is a few reasons. Can you imagine if Lindsay had brought this question on a hot seat and was like, I have this launch, I'm 3 weeks, we got 3 weeks left, this is what's going on. Like, do you have any advice for me? And I went straight into the action piece. Or I said, like, do what feels right for you, or something else like that. Do you see all of the nuggets, the gold nuggets that would have been missed? Do you see how there would have been no refinement of the action and her looking like she's operating on autopilot with this lingering underlying stuff? But now it's all brought to the surface. And not only do we have the root problem, we can get to it quickly and directly, 95% of the time, this exercise is enough to just kind of nip whatever stuff is going on in the bud. In the bud, in the butt. I feel like I'm saying that wrong. 95% of the time it is. Otherwise, what's also cool about it is that it reveals the deeper issues that you might need to coach them on. So for example, I'm going to know now that Lindsay, if I were her coach, I'm going to know now that there's potentially some self-worth stuff underneath the surface. So I'm going to look out for if that's coming up again in other places and I get to coach her on it. Or if we had more opportunity to go deeper, I could go deeper on that with her. So you're also getting the buy-in that makes the client want to do the work and make the change. It's not just you telling them what to do, like go take this action and trust yourself and all this stuff. It's actually getting their buy-in of understanding how they're behaving and then shifting that. And you're also having them build self-awareness. I didn't say much this whole exercise. She did all the work. So Lindsay's now having deeper self-awareness of how she's showing up. So later when this call is over, she's going to go, oh, I'm doing that thing again. Oh, I'm in that mindset again. Oh, I'm in this. It's not going to be on autopilot running her. She's going to have a choice in the matter of how to deal with it. It also revealed the practical gaps and the refined action that she can take. So that's a plus. And when you do this, you can imagine like putting these reps in and doing this with clients over and over again. It teaches them to work through their own blocks so they can get back to action faster. And the more independent clients are, the better their long-term results are going to be. And that's when they resign with you. And that's when your revenue triples. when they have this process down, like I do this all the time, I can do it in my sleep. When they know how to do this process, they're like, oh, I'm having a block right now. Let me run through the process and do this myself and coach myself through it. And that's awesome. And that's going to save you time and energy that by nipping the problem in the bud, by avoiding future problems. And then if you do this on group calls, even though it might seem like it's more intensive, that was probably 10 minutes, 12 minutes. But the thing is, even if it seems like that's quote more time, if versus just quickly answering Lindsay's question in 2 minutes, what does this do? Well, if everyone on the call, even if they're not dealing with her same exact situation, they're going to see themselves in her and they're going to be going through this process mentally for themselves for whatever they're dealing with. So everyone on the call is going to get a breakthrough and they're going to learn from it too. So it's the long-term play for avoiding problems and giving more clients more breakthroughs in less time. Cool. Okay. So not go through. We have the demo. Here we go. Action step. So the action step for this training of the bootcamp is very simple. You're going to go through the completion and creation exercise yourself, and you're going to share your work inside the community. So I'm going to put the slide with the step-by-step process. I'm going to pull that out for you guys so you have it for a quick reference. And then I'm also going to put some examples of different scenarios and different contexts that you could use this for. The bonus, if you want to go a little extra on this, the bonus is look at multiple incompletions that you have, multiple scenarios where you feel like, okay, I'm kind of disempowered in this area, or I'm not getting what I want, or I'm not getting the result in this area. Do it 2 or 3 times for different contexts. And then you're going to post the action step in the private Telegram, aka what I like to call the transformational slumber party. So we have this, I'm going to let you guys all into the Telegram. Put in the chat if you've had any issues requesting to join the Telegram, or if you haven't done that yet. But this is going to be a private community for this week. It's going to be our transformational slumber party place. I don't love communities that are just like a ghost town because no one's in there and they're connected. This is our place for us, for each other, to be in there together as an immersive experience. And my intention is for this boot camp to be like a transformational immersive slumber party experience. So we're connecting with each other. We're posting the action steps. I'm going to do the completion exercise a couple times during this week because I just do it all the time. So I'm going to post mine in the group chat for you guys all to see, so you can get kind of a behind the scenes look at that. This is where we're sharing with each other. We're connecting wins, discoveries, ahas, and posting your homework every single day, because when we're all focused and engaged, we're all going to get better results. So you're going to post your action steps there. And also you're going to see like you're going to learn from each other and how each other are using it in different contexts. Okay. So I'm going to be in there with you, as I said, normal business hours, Monday through Friday for the duration of the boot camp. So today through end of day, next Thursday. And I'm going to be answering questions. If you guys have questions on, could I use this tool for X, Y, and Z? Can you like give me some thoughts and feedback on the exercise? We can talk about more nuances of the tools. We can go deeper on that. I'm happy to answer any questions for you guys, so you can really even get like more immersed in the tool. My request for you guys is that we be open and vulnerable with each other, and we keep whatever happens in the slumber party in the slumber party, because that's going to allow, I want us all to feel, when this stuff comes up, it's vulnerable. So I want us all to feel like we can share freely and have integrity with that. So put committed and open if you guys are committed to posting your action steps in the community, sharing and connecting and exchanging with each other. Put committed and open in the chat. Committed and open. Love it. Okay. So the very last thing, we're wrapping this up here. I want to give you guys a sneak peek that at the end of the boot camp, I'm going to share, for those of you who want to stick around, I'm going to share an opportunity for you to go deeper on the material inside of my signature program, Coaching Craft Academy. Coaching Craft Academy is my program where you learn coaching and leadership tools like the one we learned today to bust through your own blocks and your clients' blocks so that you can 3x your business and revenue as a leader and turn clients into ride or dies who have mic drop results. So I'm going to share all the details in depth on day 3 of the bootcamp. But if you're already feeling like, damn, this blew my mind, I want to go deep on this, I want to go all in, I want my business to explode from being the best coach and leader I can possibly be, you can DM me now. Like, enrollment is officially open, so you can DM me CCA after the call to join. The bonuses for that are the first 3 people who join during the boot camp are going to get a bonus 30-minute one-on-one coaching strategy session with me. Awesome. And I'm really excited about this other bonus. If you join before the end of the boot camp next Thursday, you're going to get a personalized coaching audit inside of CCA, meaning you're going to send me the replay of a coaching call, maybe a call where you felt like you got kind of stuck and you didn't know how to crack the nut on a client breakthrough, or your client's having the same problem week to week. You're going to send me the recording of your call, and I'm going to do an audit of the call on video with specific refinements that you can make to give your clients the better breakthroughs and get better results. And I might do that privately, or I might create it as like a bonus training within CCA so that everyone can learn from it and just kind of see that process. So first 3 people to join get a 30-minute one-on-one coaching strategy session. And if you join by the end of the bootcamp next Thursday, you're going to get the personalized coaching audit as well. Cool. I think that is it. Yeah. That concludes the first training of the bootcamp. Put the word breakthrough in the chat if you had a breakthrough today around your client results, around the way that you've been coaching, around what's possible for the growth of your business by serving your clients better. Put the word breakthrough in the chat. I had a breakthrough actually of being here with you guys. It's just like, what is my breakthrough? Didn't want to interrupt you, Lindsay, when you were saying it. So I think the breakthrough for me is teaching this exercise that I've done literally 1,000 times and seeing now where I can go even deeper and refine the exercise, which is like such a nerdy thing for me to do. Refine the exercise even more to be even better. So that's my breakthrough from the call. Okay, you go first. Take the action step. I'll see you in the transformational slumber party in Telegram. And if you have any burning questions, let me know. In the meantime, you can DM me, or if you're ready to join CCA, you can DM me CCA and we'll get that handled. Thank you so much for being here. I adore you and I cannot wait to, oh wait, what does Laura say? Laura says, breakthrough my addiction to the struggle and things being hard. Woof. Yes, so good. Okay, let's talk more about your breakthroughs in the transformational slumber party, aka Telegram. I adore you guys. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you soon. Bye.